You know, it's funny how you sit down, you decide you're gonna make a video, and I don't like that thing. And you do such wonderful work when you're not on camera. I don't know why. Probably because you're talking at the same time while we're doing a video. It's sort of distracting, but it's fun to do, and it's fun to make videos because people that do this kind of thing, and I'm an old school teacher, so I love to teach and see somebody get something out of what I've figured out, you know. And most of us probably feel that way. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing videos on YouTube, because Lord knows you're not making any money or anything. In fact, oh, there's a big blob. Here we go again. In fact, YouTube has changed the rules again. On used to, it was all about getting subscribers. That's what the goal was. And so we all just concentrated on that. Let's see if I can find that little bump. There it is. And so we all just busted our, you know what, trying to build our channels by increasing the subscribers. So then we figured out that the algorithm likes videos, and so they have certain criteria by which the algorithm, or someone, I think sometimes it's a person, based on some of the back and forth that I've had with them. But now, instead of subscriber, well, also we figured out that making comments on videos that you like, so hitting the like button helps. There's a lot of lumps in this piece of clay. I think I may have to do something else with this one. There it is. So then you got a bunch of likes. You know, remind people to do like, share, and subscribe. And some people were just shameless about asking for subscribers, which I totally understand. If they're doing it with the goal in mind to make money on it, I understand that. That wasn't my primary goal when I started. I just enjoyed doing it and wanted to teach and thought it would be a fun thing to do. And YouTube was kind of new to me anyway. And I had no idea you could monetize it until some of my students at school said, "Miss Wayland, you ought to do that." So, and some of my students had videos and channels. Oh my God, one student had these channels where he was just climbing on top of his house and jumping off and doing crazy things on a skateboard, and oh my God. But anyway, he said, "Oh, Miss, I'm making lots of money on this." And I said, "Well, how do you make money on that?" So he said, "You monetize your channel." Well, you know, I just never heard of that, or really hadn't had a whole lot of experience with YouTube prior to that. So now it turns out a lot of people are getting demonetized, the whole channel, not just one video. But they want you to have, within a 365-day period, they want you to maintain 4,000 hours of watch time. That means if you fall below that on any given day, they consider you to be marginal, I guess, as far as them making money off of your videos. Because, see, that's the bottom line, is that they are wanting to make money, and they don't want to mess with anybody they can't make money off of. So it isn't altruistic at all. So it's totally about money and advertising. And I suppose maybe the advertisers had something to do with that. I don't know. But it's possible and probable. So they came on there and demonetized. Then I got demonetized because I have about 3,500 because I haven't been posting much over the last couple of years, because I've been dealing with family deaths and so forth. I just haven't had time to post. I haven't even been at my house. I've been somewhere else, and you just can't do that and take care of business, take care of your family at the same time. So it was real sudden. I thought I never knew that, and I don't think that is a legacy rule that they had. I think that is something that has just changed recently, or maybe the fine print was that way and they just decided to do it that way. They did do a little survey not long ago where they were trying to get everybody to fill out a survey based on what your experience as a creator had been, and then this 4,000 hour thing was a result, or I don't know if it was a result of that or if it just coincidentally followed that, but I thought it was kind of suspicious that it was probably connected in some way. So there you go. So my channel. So what happens on YouTube is people get on, they click on your channel, and they look and see if that's something they want to watch, and if it isn't, they click off of it naturally. And so there may have been a commercial on it that played, and there may not have been. I don't know how they decide where to put those commercials, but I always opt for for that to happen automatically, because I don't know where I would put them. So I just let the algorithm, or however they have a mechanism by which they figure out where to put those in your video. So all right, so let's slow it down and see what we can do on this edge. Okay. And I'm still pushing lumps out of this thing all the way. This might have been that clay I messed up a while ago and just hadn't had time to sit and absorb stuff. So anyway, there's just a lot of people are just pissed off at YouTube and taking their channels down, because all the time that you're demonetized, they're still going to make money off, because they're still going to run commercials on your stuff, and you're not. It's just that you're not going to get paid for it. So it's like punishment for not having enough content on there, or it's just actually, it's just raising the bar further to make it eligible to be monetized. So even for people that were grandfathered in on the different on a previous contract and previous agreement, which if this was any other kind of legal situation, they would call it being grandfathered in, and you could just say, well, hey, that wasn't the contract that I came in under. Yeah, this is not going to work. And in a court of law, you would probably be able to be reinstated if you wanted to fight it. But one view, or let's see, I think I've figured out, or somebody said this, I can't remember, that it takes about 1,000 views, or whatever is considered to be a view. I don't know how many minutes or seconds it has to be considered a view, but that it takes, well, so for each commercial you get 0.03 cents. Now that's 3/100ths of a cent for each view. And so as you, I mean, just do the math, nobody's getting rich off of it. And but the people that are talking about politics and all that kind of garbage. So that leaves us guys, we're just kind of out there. And if you don't have enough hours, then they're not going to push, as in promote, they're not going to have your video appear in a place where people can see it. So it's not going to come up at the top of the page when you Google something. So it's kind of like they're screwing everybody over big time, and everybody knows what that they're doing it and what they're doing. So it's kind of hard to decide, you know, do I want to continue to do this, and is it worth it? Now, the thing that I have found most rewarding about doing the videos on YouTube, I get lots of comments where people say, oh, I binge watched your channel, I learned so much, or something like that. Or some of my old former students will find me on there, and it's kind of fun to catch up to them. But there's kind of a community that has developed as a result, for me anyway. I imagine that's true of other people too, because a lot of them are beginning to do live broadcasts, and they seem to recognize the people that show up on the live. So they have developed a community. Some of the little communities are small, the little groups of friends, YouTube friends, are small, and some are just gigantic followings. And some people have moved all of their videos to a website, and they'll put out a video that kind of advertises what's going on the website, and then they have their own sponsors, and they have contracted with different places to do commercials for them on their website. So, and some YouTube channels you can do that too. So the where you have your own agreement with a company to do commercials, that's probably the most profitable. But I don't know. I'm just a little frustrated with it, because after all this time, and boy, I just feel like, boy, did they ever know how to kick a person when they're down. And it's, in a way, we're all kind of like employees of YouTube, whether we're getting paid or not. They are getting paid and making money off of what we put on there, off of our content. And so it feels like the worst job you've ever had as far as the relationship between the employer and the person and the worker, because you're treated so badly. And especially at the beginning, if you had an issue with something that they censored for no good reason whatsoever, and they would censor stupid things that, I mean, they just didn't have the algorithms working right. And I'm gonna just do this later because after talking about this, I am so not enthused. But they would censor stuff that was ridiculous, and yet you couldn't get anybody's attention. So everybody knows that the first 24, 48 hours of your video after you post it, that is the richest time, because you get more views right then than in the whole lifetime of, I mean, there's never another 48-hour period where you get that many concentrated views and comments and stuff. So that's where you make your impression, and that's where your video gets the most comments and the most likes and the most everything. So that's where you get your bang for the buck, basically. But they take that away from you if they can find some reason to censor something. So, like I told you before, I was, a long time ago, I made a video of something to do with that kiln. And I don't remember if it was when I first got it or whatever it was, but there was something that they didn't like, or that the algorithm didn't like, and I never did find out what the heck the deal was. But so I got censored, demonetized on that video, and then I asked for a review. Back then, way back at the beginning, you couldn't ask for a review. You just had to get on that little help thing and write a comment or a question. I think it was for questions. And they never answered the questions. They just talk about giving you the cold shoulder. You just couldn't get anything out of anybody, especially in a timely fashion. Then finally they came up with a deal where you could ask for a review immediately if your thing was censored. And still, they take away the best time of your video by doing a censor on something, and then they get all the revenue from the ads and you get nothing. I think that they ought to go ahead and censor it, I suppose, and run the ads unless they're going to take it down, but run the ads, and instead of demonetizing you, just say you're censored because of whatever word you used, and give you an opportunity to blank that word out or do something. But then as that video is up, they should count the views even if they don't show them, and also run the ads. And then if you're found to be guilty of something egregious, then go ahead and punish the person by taking their revenue and so forth. But if it turns out that the algorithm is out of its mind and the word shouldn't have been censored, then I think they should go ahead and flip a switch that restores your earnings, your revenue, and take off the censor so that you can still so that you're not damaged by it. But I don't think they really care. I think that everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame. And so there's never going to be a shortage of people that want to do something on YouTube. And so it really doesn't matter. We're just the little guy. So it really doesn't matter. And they don't care. And they're going to make money off of it if you put it up there. They are going to make money off of it. So that's the deal. And that's my spiel.